Again, that question of can't that individual say, I am not competent? You said to me about a change of attitude. Can't the individual say, I am not the best man for this, if we want to achieve this?
Unfortunately, in Nigeria, they lobby for it. Honestly. And truly, like we have rightly said, if you are offered something which you know you are not competent to handle, for God's sake, why don't you admit it and look for something else to do? I mean, sometimes I show that how we are mostly other, at least as we see it, mostly other Christians or Muslims. I asked a friend of mine, I'm a Christian, but I asked a friend of mine, I said, look, let us leave legislation apart. Justice delivery is such an important, no, it's like playing God. Somebody that can order somebody to be killed. I mean, what can you compare to it? You can't compare money or anything to it. I mean, you can order your fellow man to be hung by the neck until he's dead, and if you have no money to go and appear or there is no clemency, that is the end of it. That is not a serious. So I said, look, let us leave all this legislation. Oh, they want to punish, they don't want to punish. See, what do you, in your religion, what does it say about people who are judging others and they are doing as they like? And he showed me the edit. He says, if you are a judge and you know the right thing and you go and do the wrong thing, you are a candidate for hell. If you are a judge and you judge ignorantly, can you see that? That is, if you judge ignorantly, you are also a candidate for hell. So the ignorant judge is in the same credential with the corrupt judge. So if you know that you don't have the competence, like we have rightly said, why don't you just say, Chief, please look for somebody else? This judiciary work is a serious matter. It's like going to play God. I don't want to get into trouble. If you have another job for me, I will gladly take it. Why not? And the Bible tells us too that, look, if it is blessed for you to judge rightly, to do the right thing, what is the opposite of well being blessed? And we will see, we fight a religion, fight because of this, my religion is not being honored, my religion, they are not giving me my quota, they are not giving, why don't we follow that thing that we are saying there?
I seem to sense a certain exasperation, you know, from your presentation this morning with the Nigerian situation. And it would seem that it's been on for years. I mean, this criticisms, this way things are. Do you think, have you seen any situation, any reason, you know, to rejoice, any reason to be hopeful that things will eventually change in terms of our attitude, in terms of even the institutions and how they move on?
Yeah, you see, my thinking is this. With the incoming administration, of course, we'll wait to see what they do and how they go about it. I get the impression that in the course of going through the elections, I think the frustration of a lot of Nigerians was obvious, and they want something to be done differently. I voted, and I interacted with people at the police station. Everybody had different complaints, but boils down to the same thing. Like, look, why are we going like this in cycle? And it doesn't matter where they came from, whether they were Yoruba, Igbos, it didn't matter. It's just that, look, why can't we get it right? So this administration that is coming now, they have the opportunity to do things right. And it's not about whether there is money or there is no money. There are things that can be done quickly, that doesn't require very huge resources.
For instance,
to do. Some have said, if you come in, Nigeria is so difficult, even if you are not corrupt, you cannot change corrupt people. You as the leader, first of all, show that you are not corrupt. Don't get people to go and do underhand business for you. Don't get civil servants to go and inflate contracts in one corner for you. If they know that, if you have no interest, if you are a chief executive, you have no interest in a contract, No matter how many times they bring the paper to you, you can tell the person, take it away. I'm not approving this nonsense. And if you bring it again, I will get you out of this place. But if you have under the table interest, you will say, leave it on my table. Something that should be thrown out.
No, but, you know, some people, as much as we are also saying that a lot of hopes are tied, you were saying, to the incoming administration, there must be something to build on. Would you say, what would you say we can build on, you know, from the administration that is leaving?
You see, for instance, this president, although he has promised to do so, let him declare his asset publicly and get those who are going to work for him to do the same. Let him operate, and thank God at his age, there is no reason why it cannot be an open book. He should ensure that, look, the executive powers of the Federation is vested in the president. The reason why we are in this pit largely is because people get away with impunity. He should punish impunity, whether they are members of his party or not. And I believe that, you see, Nigerians, I see that if you are leading, of course there will still be some deviants who will try to test your will. If they will test it and test it again. But if they know that the law will catch up with you, gradually, when people have cases in court, they will not be asking you who is the judge. They will be asking you what does the law say. Because they know the law will catch up with them.
Is that what happens now when you're going to court? They say who's
there are some irresponsible elements. Instead of them to show interest in what the law says, they are looking at for who is the judge. What's your business with who is the judge? The judge's eyes is covered like this. He doesn't know you.
So they seem to uncover it.
Why are you looking to uncover it? Those who try to do so, the law should go against them and punish them.
Should we do something about the way judges are appointed in the states or across the board, across the country?
Well, certainly. But like I said, it's one thing to give all these rules, Chamberlain. It's another thing in the implementation for people to be committed to this society. We have no other country. You see, I feel very ashamed when you travel somewhere and they look at your passport and I say to myself, for God's sake, for instance, I practiced law for over 30 years. Why would I go somewhere and I look like a refrat or something, or a suspect? Why should that be? No, they should, please, we deserve some dignity as human beings. It's very painful. It's very painful. And you see, our children, they are here. And that is why the system, if you ask parents, the challenges are enormous. Because sometimes when you try to educate them, what they are seeing, when they are seeing our leaders do, they will say, Daddy, Daddy, this is not like this.
That's exactly what you see.
You know what we are seeing. You are driving your children to school, and somebody stops them, a police officer or something, and he sees the mother or the father throw something like this, and he say, Daddy, Mommy, come here. I said, I just want to say, it's and these children, they grow up wondering. It's natural, and they see it. So everyone that has a duty to do at whatever duty post, for God's sake, let us give a thought to this country. We don't have somewhere else. God forbid. Thank God that this election has gone and we are living in peace. Why can't we just agree to make our life better? Why is it so difficult? Why this scrambled life? I don't know. You want to build a house in the Atlantic? So that when they are driving on the third mainland bridge, they can point to your house inside the ocean? Why? Why?
As a food for thought, that's where we'd like to leave it here today on this segment. So I have to thank Mr. Layi Babatunde, is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.